Welcome back to the session on the value-added courses of ethical hacking. In the previous session, we discussed about the password cracking, and that we discussed about what is meant by password and what are the different combinations through which we use the password, right? And we discussed about the different strategies or methods or techniques through which a particular password of a person can be cracked, right? And basically speaking, password is a phrase or a collection of strings and then special characters and other symbols, and so that is used to provide a security, right? The person enters the right username and password, and uh, you will be an authenticated users, and with the help of the right password, the person who enters the right password, and you will be known as the authenticated users to access some resources. Maybe the resources could be any laptop or mobile phone or any other file or Gmail services or mail services or whatever other applications, right? And after that, see, in order to break the password again, the attacker, and basically speaking, the attacker are the knowledgeable persons, are a man in the middle, and who try to illegally access the password, or he try to break the security and whatever the file is protected. Especially that we discussed about that, what are the different methods through which password protected zip file, I mean, that can be cracked and the password can be extracted with the help of the two tools. The first one we discussed about that, if crack zip, and the second method we discussed about zone the ripper, right? Both the techniques which uses a specific technique which is called a brute force attack. When we talk about the brute force attack, the attacker will try to use a different combinations or different the clues. Based on that, he will try to find out that what type of password, what password which is used to protect the particular file, right? Even in the fcrack zip as well as the zone refer file. And then so they will use brute force attack, right, where that the different combinations of the small letter and then capital letter and then the alpha numerical values and then the special characters, all these combinations will be tried. And so after that, at the end of that, all brute forcing attack, the password will be extracted. Then we discussed about that, what is meant by encryption process, decryption process, and then we discussed about hash function, how it is going to ensure that during the data transmission, whether the message integrity is achieved. Matlab, integrity is which is something that, and during the data transmission, if the data is reached the receiver without any modification during the transmission, so that is called a integrity, right? Again, we discussed about the different hashing techniques. Might be the MD4 algorithm, MD5 algorithm. When we talk about the hash function is a public function which uh, takes any size of the input from the any size of input, and with the help of any mathematical or formula or function, it will try to produce a fixed size output. So that is used to for the verifications, that the fixed size code can be called as a hash code or message digest, right? Depends upon the different types of algorithm we uses, the hash code size will vary. In case of MD5 algorithm, message digest 5 algorithm, which uses 128-bit hash code. When you talk about the 512 SHA 512, which is secure hash algorithm, which produces a 512-bit hash code, right? Then we discuss about the salt value. When you talk about the salt value, when we talk about the salt value, which is an additional element or any additional constant value, so that will be randomly or in the specific places, it will be inserted in between the password characters whatever we are entering. So that this is another layer of no security which will be given to your actual password, even if the attacker get the actual password, and he may not be having the exact salt value which is used for encryption, by the way. So there are different methods or different techniques, and we discussed, right, how the password can be securely transmitted, how the file has been protected, right? And in today's session, we'll be focusing on the another variation, which is the ProRat, and that will discuss about the Trojanus virus. Not, it's not a virus. Just don't do any annotations here. Right. In today's topic, we are going to discuss about theoretically as well as practically how the ProRAT, the Trojana's effect, which can be affect any file or any system. Right. When we talk about RAT is the remote access tool, or I could say the remote access Trojan. Right. From my place, right, I'll try to create the virus or Trojanas, right, so that I'm anyhow with the help of any mode, I'm going to launch the remote access tool into the target machine, the machine which I wanted to attack. Once if this Trojan has been installed in the target machine, from that point of time, I will get the entire access on the machine. From that time, I can do whatever the activities I want. I can perform all the activities on the target machine, right? So let's start with that. So before starting with the actual tutorial, this is again a standard disclaimer. This tutorial especially is meant for education purpose only. Neither RISB College of Engineering nor instructor is responsible for implementation of any act learned in this tutorial or session. This course is made with a vision to jumpstart a career in ethical hacking. And other than that, I use my own devices during the explanation of all these methods. Don't use these methods for any kind of illegal or malicious activities, because hacking is crime and you will be punished as per the laws. Now, there is a big story or the incident which is behind the Trojanus virus, right? And so, how many of you watched the movie Troy? And so, which was a movie which is no, it's a Hollywood movie which is released and in 2000, near 2000s. How many of you watched this movie Troy? Troy, Troy. Quickly, you can write it in chat box. Troy movie. How many of you watched a movie Troy? Troy. Troy. No one? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many of you watched the movie Troy? Yes. Kajal. Okay. Riva says no. Okay. So mute yourself, please. Who is that? Ashwin Tiwari. This is again a standing instruction given to all of you. And mute yourself unless until you have any doubts and you are not supposed to unmute. Otherwise, you can try. You can use the chat box to post your queries. However, it's clear for all of you. Okay. There is a interesting story behind this, the Trojanos name, right? And actually, according to the legend, right, the Greek won the Trojan War by hiding in a huge. So here in the picture, you can see a big horse. So this is completely made up of a wooden horse, right? And the Greek soldiers or Greek warriors, what they used to do, right? They were hiding inside the complete Troy. So this was called a Troy or a Troy, I could say that. Inside this Troy, right? The warriors, they used to hide, right? And so by without knowing that inside the Troy there are people, there are warriors are hiding, right? And the enemy people, the opponent people, they will take this entire statue into their palace, right? And what they will do, what are the people who are sitting are hiding inside, and they will come out during the night, right? It was a built and filled with the Greek warriors to get into Troy city. So that was the name of the film, and opens the door for all the warriors outside Troy city, waiting to enter into the city. The people who are hiding inside this Troy, and during the night time, they will come out from the Troy. And what they will do, they will kill the soldiers or the safeguards or whoever they are safeguarding the palace. They will kill all the peoples, and then they will open the doors, and automatically they will create a path, they will open a place, right, through which they will make an entry point through which from their own soldiers they were waiting outside the palace, they will come into the palace, and after that they will kill everyone and they will capture the entire palace. So this is what the story behind the Trojanas. When we talk about through the technical terms, it's basically represent any piece of user code. The user code can be any program or application, right? Which makes the kernel code access anything it would not have been able to access itself. In the context of computer software, a Trojanos is a program that contains or installs a malicious program. I think you might be familiar with the malicious program or malware, which malware, whether that could be a virus or worms or zombie, all these things, right? Which may causes harm or damages to any type of resources, might be a laptop or file, any other resources, right? Sometimes, so this may call the payload also, right? And the code which is written might be a program or software, right, which has to be installed on the target machine, right, in order to do the malicious activities. So this is what the name which stands for Trojanas. Now, before discussing about the Trojanas, and I'll try to make sure what is the difference between the virus and then worms and the Trojanas, right? Basically speaking, when we talk about the virus is a piece of code which is a self-replicating program that attaches itself to other program and files. Again, so there are different types of viruses. I could say that the boot sector viruses, which specially attack only the booting files. Suppose if the booting files are corrupted, the file will not be boot itself, right? Again, some other compression viruses, again, then there with the polyface viruses. There are different types of viruses which has been created for the specific applications, right? Now, again, when we talk about the worm, again, it's very similar to the virus, which is illegitimate programs that replicate themselves usually over the network, right? Now, the viruses which will not propagate through the network. In case if any virus which came into my devices, that will stay only inside the device, right? And that will not propagate to through the network. In case of worm, right, which are kind of viruses that will have the tendency to propagate, which may transit through the network, right? Again, when we talk about the Trojanas, it's a malicious program used to control a victim's computer from a remote locations, where suppose if I am sitting in a remote place, right, I wanted to access a machine which is far away from my place, where I don't need to have the physical contact to the machine which I wanted to attack. Instead that I'll send a piece of code that the what I could say that the attacking person, or I could that the victim person, the target person, right, he may not be aware that whether it is a virus or trojanus, right, unknowingly, and he will do some actions on the file which I send, right. From that point of time, I'll try to access the complete resources, right. Now, when we talk about the purpose of all these viruses and then the virus which are used to disturb the normal computer usage, maybe any type of resources, might be your boot sector files, or it may corrupt the operating system, or it may delete the files, or it may corrupt your files, right? Or like ransomwares, right? What the ransomware will do, WannaCry will do, again, which will try to change your extension of the file instead of PDF, and it will try to convert into the new file extensions. That format cannot be readable, the file cannot be usable at all, right. Automatically it does the encryption and converts into other form of files, right. Very similar to that, again, worm is also install a backdoor on the victim's computers and slow down the user's network, right. Now, when we talk about the trojanas, it steals sensitive data as well as the spy on the victim computers. In the later part, we'll discuss about the list of activities we can perform with the trojanas, right. And what are the countermeasures for all type of knee attacks and the malicious softwares, right? Basically, we need to have the antivirus software system, as well as in case if we get any updates in the operating system, other softwares, right? Periodically, we need to update all these resources, right? So that which automatically make sure that your file or resources which you have, that is protected. Now, how this Trajanas works? Now, first, the Trojanas at first glance will appear to be useful software, but see this, the virus or the software which can be embedded with any type of file, right? Might be, it may look like a PDF file, or it may look like an image file, right? But the outer looking, it looks like a normal file or useful file, but after clicking it, and you will get the actual face of the file, right, that may convert it into some other format, right. And but will actually it will help, or it will make you to damage once installed or run on your computer. When a trojan is activated on your computer, the results can vary. right? Again, once if it is installed or activated on your computer, from that moment of time, and suppose if you are getting the file in the PDF format, but I'm not sure that whether it's a Trojan horse. If I click on the PDF file, after the click or after installation, the file which converted into original one, and it may not be the actual one which I received, right? The extension or the shape or the other file format will be changed, right? Some Trojan horse are designed to be more annoying than the malicious, like changing your desktop and then adding a silly activity desktop icons. So this we will work it out during our practicals. I will know practically I will demonstrate how this Trojan horse which makes us effects in your changing the files. And also, so these are the silly informations. Other than that, and it can cause some serious damage by deleting the files. There are a lot of activities which can be performed once if the Trojan OS has been launched in the target machines. It may delete the complete files or important files, or it may capture the password which is stored in the machines, right? And then it may create. We can create a new user on the PC also, right? Right. From that moment time, right? Whenever the PC is on, the target PC is on, from remote location, I can attack the machine. I can get all the resources from the machine, right? So Trojanos are also known to create a backdoor. Backdoor is that illegal entry, right? It's through which I can enter into the computers, right? On your computer that gives a malicious uses access to your system, possibly allowing a confidential or personal information to be compromised. If that could be any type of information or files resource which could be accessed once if I get entry into the machine or entry into the target machine which I wanted to attack. Now, these are the different variations in the Trojanos virus, right? First, that could be used for only the remote access, right? Maybe uh, as we will discuss in the later part, ProRat, which will be used for the remote access, right? Again, the second one is for the email sending, again, so which will be specially created for sending the email. I mean, the anonymous emails, right? From the it looks like the email which comes from the legitimate users or actual users, but actually it is not, right? And the data destructive. So here again, so some of the Trojanos which will be used for file destruction or data destructive purposes. Again, FTP, which can be used for FTP Trojan file transfer, right? Maybe adding or copying data from the infected computers. And then the denial of services Trojans. What is meant with the denial of services? Have anyone heard about this denial of services? So these are the different the purposes are the different variations of the Trojanos which is available in the market. When we talk about the denial of services, suppose if I am an authenticated users, right? Even if I have the right username and password, if I am not able to use the services, right? Say for example, if there is a printer connected to my laptop, even it is shared with my laptop, even after entering my user ID password by uh, taking the printout, if I'm not taking the printout, if the resources is not allocated to me, then again that will be called of a denial of services. The authorized users or authenticated users, right, may not get the services from the available resources, right? So this could be no again this could be done using the remote access tool or Trojan house. Again, so these are the some of the example activities, right? We will perform with the help of the remote access tool. Out of these all type of the variations, I am going to focus only on the remote access tool. And so these are the different example I can perform with the remote access tool. First one is that I can erase or I can overwrite the data on a computer, right? I can delete the files or I can create a new files, right? And then encrypt the file and then upload and download the files, right? Once if I get an access to the remote machine, I can perform almost all the thing which I can physically do with the computers, allowing the remote access to the victim's computers and installing a backdoor on a computer system, opening and closing a CD tray, and then harvest the email address. I can collect the email addresses, right? And then I can restart the computers. There are a lot of steps we can perform once if the Trojan horse has been installed or which is affected in the target machine in which I wanted to make an attack. Now, as we discussed about, right, how can know if you are under the Trojanus virus? How you'll come to know that whether your PC has been infected with the null? So you may download any type of file, whether it could be a movie file or music file, as I mentioned earlier. But when you click on it and you unleash a dangerous program that may erases your disk or send your credit card numbers or the password to the strangers, or let the strangers hack your computer to commit illegal denial of services, and how you can overcome with all type of this kind of issues or problems. The first thing is that once if you come to know that once if you find any suspicious files which is not at all you have used, now if you found that these are the files are not authenticated or not valid one, immediately try to delete the file. And after that, if you are very sure with that it's a trojan horse or any virus, immediately no, you can take the backup of your entire hard disk again. You can do the format of the disk whenever it is necessary, and then reinstall the operating system and all your applications from the, try to use the authenticator or original softwares, whether it is an operating system or any applications. That will be more fruitful. And the second thing is that you can use antivirus software, right? Again, so this is basically a virus, right? I mean the Trojanas, so that suppose if you have the advanced versions or advanced operating system, which Windows 10, so that defaultly which has the network Windows Defender, that automatically defines whether the downloading file, whether it is embedded with any type of Trojanas virus or malware, that could detect automatically. Even if you're downloading the files from the Google Chrome, where they have the inbuilt security files that will download, that will check the extension of the file in case if it is a exe file or in case if it is the virus footprints, automatically that the downloading will be discarded. You will not get the file to be downloaded, right? So you can use the proper antivirus software where automatically you can scan, and then you can the antivirus will identify the virus or the trojan horse, so that will give the notification. Based on that, you can take the precautionary actions. You may delete or you may scan, and then you can uninstall certain things. And then there are some other anti-trojan program which are available. So these programs are the most effective against the trojanous attack because they specialize in the trojans instead of the general viruses. Now again, very similar to the antivirus, there are some software, the anti-trojan program which are available in the market, that you can use those softwares that will specially identify is there any trojan or which is infected or which is installed in your machine. In case if it is installed again, so that will give the notification so that you can remove that. If you have any doubts with the basic or the fundamentals with the theoretical concept which I explained. Now one thing I wanted to unless I but sir, if it is a big file, if if it is a big file, it does not check. Maybe other than that, not only big file, suppose if you are downloading a file in the zip format. Once if the file has been zipped, and if you're trying to download a zip format, and even whatever the defender antivirus you have, so that will not be checked because it is completely zipped, right? The file extension cannot be visible from outside. Once if the file has been zipped, means that downloading the zip file, which may not ensure that whether you are downloading the actual file or viruses. That is also another reasons, right? Do you have any other queries or doubts, so that we'll move into the practical session? Are you clear with the basic concepts? What is meant by the Trojan horse virus? Trojan, sorry, it's not a virus. It's a Trojan horse, right? Quickly, you can write it in the chat box. Okay. Yes. If we shut down our computer, then so I can't get. Can you write the complete question? Shut down our computer. Then what? In what perspective you are asking? I'm not sure with that. Unless you're talking about that Okay, irrespective of whether your file infected with the virus, even if you are shutdowning and then restarting it, still there will be the virus in your machine. Irrespective of how many times you how many times you restart or shut down. No. Once if the virus has been installed, Trojan horse has been launched on your machine. It doesn't matter whether you restart your PC, whether you shut down the PC. Still inside that, the footprint of the Trojan horse will be there in the machine. Unless until you delete the file, unless until you clear that file. Is it clear, Anas? I may clarify your doubts. Okay. Is there any other doubt? So we'll proceed with the next session. Yes, there are so many files. Torrent file also. You may get the virus also, but you may not be able to differentiate whether it is the actual file or the torrent file. Yes, there could be the possibilities. Torrent file may consist of the virus also. I mean Trojanus also. Yes, Chaitanya, are you satisfied with the answer? Okay. I hope it's clear for all of you. And what I do is that I'll end the session now. Uh, Trojan OS directly cannot delete the antivirus, but once if the Trojan OS installed in your PC and manually you can uninstall the antivirus and you can do manually. From that moment you will get a remote access to the machine and you can do it manually. But Trojan OS will not automatically delete any type of things. That will create a loop that will give an entry to the machine. Other than that, the Trojan horse will not do anything with the PC. You will get a any access to all type of resources. With the help of that, you can do all malicious. User can perform all malicious activities once if the Trojan horse launched with the target machine. Uzain, are you clear? Okay. So I hope it's clear for all of you. I'll end the session now, and you are all requested to
So,
rejoin with the same username and user ID and then password. Okay, that I'll come to know when explaining the practical part. Anas. Okay.
so whatever Trojan horse is entered in a database, can it be vulnerable for the database too? Will it cause any problem for the developer of the website? Like if the Trojan horse enters the database?
Is Trojanas which will not directly delete any files. It can see once if the Trojanas my opinion is that my answer is that once if the Trojanas is launched to any machines, right, the Trojanas will not harm any file directly. So this will create an entry to the users or attacker once if the Trojanas is launched any the machine which I wanted to attack. And that purposely I'm launching this Trojanas. From that moment, I'll have the entire control of the machines. I can do whatever I want.
Yes, sir. So exactly, then the database will be vulnerable, right?
Yes, then suppose if the database which is present in the PC which is not protected. Suppose if I'm launching a Trojanas into the server where I'm maintaining the database, might be the complex information. So I'll get the access to the database also. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it is a file or whether it is a database, whatever it may be. From that moment, I'll get access to the complete information or complete resources.
So, sir, is there a way to protect the databases from this kind of Trojan horses? Like we cannot use a antivirus for databases, right?
No, database can be again protected with the passwords. Again, we can add a one more layer to the databases. Even if I get access to the databases again, to access the database, even if I know the place where the database is stored, right? We can add the administrator can add one more security layer. The database can be protected with the password unless until I know the password. Even if I'm an attacker, if I know the place where the database is stored, I need to enter the right password to make changes in the databases, right?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. So I'll end the session now, and you are all requested to join the session. I mean the new session with the same username and password. Join after 5 to 10 minutes because it needs a time to save my all the video recordings. Join after 10 minutes exactly. Okay.